running.
Yeah, we're going to meet Nicole from Chestee. She's the founder and CEO. I met her back in 2013 at the CrossFit Games. I love catching up with her over town and just kind of see where she's at as a company. She's what I call the boss lady, highly motivated. I just love her passion and drive for what she does. So we're here in West Palm Beach at the Nationals new spring training facility here to see one of my major league clients that plays for the Mets. He's a catcher. His name's Kevin Pilecki. He was a first round supplemental pick in 2012 from Purdue, and just one of my favorite clients. Just salt of the earth. Him and his wife, and they actually live like a mile from me in Arizona. They just purchased a house, but yeah, I'm gonna watch him catch tonight. God, I wonder if we have a flat tire. I have to find a gas station. Well, they didn't have it fixed flat. Let's try to plug it ourselves though. I think it did it. There's like a tire kit repair at the gas station. It's like this silicone, it looks like a screwdriver with silicone. You like shove it down in there, and then you glue it. Well, it's holding right now. I'm also going 90 miles an hour, so flat tires. Anyways, we're on our way to see Maddie right now, and I was just wondering, I talked with her briefly, and she's lifting this morning, but, so you want interview? Is that what you want? And do you have questions? So, I'm a former professional baseball player. I was very fortunate when I was younger to be drafted out of high school. I was on my way to the University of Arizona with a full ride to play baseball there, and instead I signed with Tampa Bay when I was a senior in high school. Played for 7 years. Unfortunately, health was not on my side, and I had a couple elbow surgeries. One was Tommy John, so ligament replacement, and I just had every injury you could think of: concussion, knee, ankle, broken finger. I had a black cloud over me. So in 2007, I decided to retire. And after I retired, my plan was I always wanted to be a firefighter. And at that time, the real estate market just blew up, and the cities where I'm from in Arizona weren't hiring. So I went back to school and got my EMT, to still pursue fire, but they didn't hire for like 3 years. So in between that time, I had some real estate that I owned, so I had to get a big boy job, and so I worked at a bank. I was a personal banker. I sold copiers. Someone said if you can sell anything, you can sell copiers. That was definitely eating humble pie right there. And I wouldn't take back that I wouldn't take that back in a second. That was a very, very good life lesson. I sold document management, and what that did for me was my agency that represented me when I was a player asked me to come do the amateur draft, which is the major league draft, and what they wanted was to see sales experience, and that's what I had accomplished. So in 2010, they hired me as what you call like a junior agent or a runner, and I started recruiting high school, college players, and that's like how I got Kevin. That's kind of how I started, and then I grew into a certified major league baseball agent. So I worked for a large firm. It's called Gaylord Sports at the time. They're one of the largest in golf. They were bought out by a company called Lagard Air Unlimited, and in 2000, 13, I believe, they got bought out. One of my baseball players, his name's Tuffy Ghostwitch, he was taking a level 1 certification. he coached CrossFit in the off seasons, which is awesome. And he was taking a level 1 from Dave Lipson. And they got to talking, and Dave was asking, what do agents do, for baseball players? And Dave was a former baseball player. And so Tuffy connected us and jumped on the phone with Dave and Camille. At the time, they were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and just had some questions about, and I think at the time it was about Reebok, what an endorsement looks like, and what they should be looking for, how the contract reads. And so from there, I was racing mountain bikes, and I had heard about CrossFit, and I thought it was a cult. And so I started doing it myself. Really got into it, and I just saw this vision of endorsements, because the golf agents that worked in my office, that's how they make money. Anything you see on a golfer is essentially an endorsement deal. The ball, the club, the logos on their bag, their belt buckle. So I learned a lot from them, and I saw that vision with Camille. So in late 2011, I started working with Camille, and the goal was to kind of make her. The goal was to have an extension of her brand after she was done competing, because the window of opportunity in an athlete's life is, and our life's this big and the window is this big, as an athlete. So the goal was to make her essentially the face of CrossFit as a woman once she left the sport. And then from there I met Josh Bridges, and I just loved his story and just loved working for him because of his story. Then I met Maddie Rogers, and she's a weightlifter. So yeah, traditionally I do baseball. I'm a baseball agent, but I also do endorsements for CrossFit athletes. And then also, after I retired, like I said, I was racing mountain bikes. My dad, who's in the manufacturing of supplements, and the founder of X Endurance, at the time asked him if he could make the product at his manufacturing facility. Long story short, my dad gave me the product to look at and see if I could help him with endorsements of athletes. And I looked at the product, and it was like, reduce lactic acid by 15%. I'm like, there's no way this product does what it says it does. There's no way. So I had tested it like off and on 3 or 4 times between CrossFit and mountain bike racing, and I was just like, I called the founder and I was like, why aren't you muscle milk big? And he just was like, because no one wants to talk about it. And I was like, you're absolutely right. Like, because I was racing against my brother, and I didn't want to tell him that I was on this product because I had an edge. So from there I started consulting with athletes, and long story short, I've been an owner with X Endurance since 2000. I think it was, our first CrossFit Games was 2012. People didn't believe it. So fast forward, we're in 2018. We've been organic, grown company, basically family owned, word of mouth, and we've complemented the extreme endurance product and built a whole line around that. So yeah, I do 3 things, and that's kind of the reason I'm finally putting the story out there. Is people ask me all the time, what do you do? And I know it looks really confusing, and even last year I started just the X Endurance Instagram to kind of get away from my personal, but try to tell the story through that, and people could gain knowledge through that, but it still kind of looks confusing. So to sum it up, I started as a baseball agent. I learned endorsements and marketing, so I started working with CrossFit athletes, and Maddie, and I also am an owner of X Endurance. So there's 3 things I do. They kind of all go together, and finally became open to the idea of telling the story. Very reluctant for a long time, because there's a lot of proprietary information that I wouldn't want to give away on how I learned this business to help my clients be successful in their partnerships and endorsements. But there is a way to be able to go about this and do the day in the life of, without giving away some of those private conversations.